packed lunches?
Oh, yes. I mean, sometimes they do food days.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have any food allergies in the house. So no one has celiac disease, no one has a wheat allergy, no one has an allergy. But we do have, from eating this way, I can see that some of them have intolerances. I have an intolerance to gluten products, wheat.
So you avoid the gluten products and it's
Exactly.
not a problem.
My daughter, we've discovered, has a dairy intolerance. So she can have dairy. She might not feel good the next day or the next hour, but she's not going to have an anaphylactic shock.
Mm-hmm.
So when the kids leave the house, I don't try to control what they eat. I hope that they make good choices, and they don't always do because they're kids, but the goal here is to teach them that there are choices out there.
Yeah. By the way, you may not have known this, but the brain weighs about 2 or 3% of our total body weight, but uses 20 to 30% of the calories we consume. So 20 to 30% of every snack and every meal that we eat goes to run the brain, which then runs the heart, the lungs, digestive system, reproductive system.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So you talk about the tank. Well, much of that tank is upstairs.
That's right. And upstairs is trained to want sugar. You know, especially in Americans, we eat way too much sugar. And
and meat, because the
Right.
two go hand in hand.
Right, and our palate wants that first.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I try to turn people over, when they ask for help and try to get a little cleaner in their diet, it's very difficult to change your palate. It doesn't happen overnight.
And by the way, when a person is eating clean or can enjoy simple foods, they can taste the sugar in a carrot or
That's right.
a parsnip,
Right.
or onion
Right.
or something sweet, even cabbage.
Right. I don't eat any refined sugar anymore, and that was the last thing I kicked, and that was really difficult. But now, if I have something with sugar in it, I can taste it, and it upsets my whole system.
Well, I just think probably when you were very young, you were sensitive, and that you just respected and honored your body, and just kind of been moving in this direction, and will continue to grow and evolve as a result of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I grew up in a middle-class Jewish household. We had bagels and lox every Sunday morning, and Chinese food at night, and lots of noodle and lots of starches, and I never really felt good. So when I went off gluten at a really young age, I didn't actually realize it was the gluten, because back then no one really talked about it like we do now. It wasn't available information. And it took years for a light bulb moment to go off and say, hey, it's the gluten. Mm-hmm. I feel fatigued and lethargic. I feel, just not good, bloated, headaches.
Well, and our audience may not know what gluten is or what foods gluten is founded. So tell our audience what gluten is and where is it found.
Gluten is the protein that's in wheat, rye, and barley.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hidden in so many other little products that you wouldn't think. It could be in, seasoning packets, could be in salad dressings, it could be in ice creams. So now a lot of the manufacturers have labeled on there gluten-free to make it a lot easier for consumers.
We're one of the places where I shop, they just have like a whole aisle related to gluten-free.
Yeah, but beyond that whole gluten-free aisle are a ton of other products that are naturally gluten-free that just don't cross over into that aisle. So you've got to...
Well, you're not going to find any gluten in fresh fruits or vegetables.
That's right. That's why... that's why we say shop the outside perimeter of the markets.
But the sources of gluten, if they're eaten fresh, would they be okay?
No.
What was the sources you said?
The gluten is found in wheat, rye, and barley, so it's the protein. So if you have an intolerance to that, you have an intolerance to anything that gluten is in. So you have to avoid eating all gluten.
Well, is it worse when, let's say, you take wheat or rye and you grind it into flour?
No, it doesn't matter. It's in any format of that product.
Okay. Did you study nutrition in college?
I didn't. I'm self-taught. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, but I am self-taught in the sense that everybody out there could be. We can all go online. Everything's out there for us to read. We just have to be patient with ourselves and educate.
Well, I'm all for self-education, and I really think what you teach yourself is the most important lessons you have to learn. I call them life lessons.
Right.
Because that's exactly what you need in that given moment.
That's right. That's right.
And so if you're teaching your children to learn from their life experiences, their dietary experiences, they're going to learn what's important for them.
Right. My oldest son is 17, and he goes to school in Maine. He's in high school there, and he plays hockey. And he is very into his athletic ability and wants to build on that. A foundation. And when we first went, there's a Walmart about half an hour away, and I had to go through the aisle and show him how to read the labels correctly and how to make these, choices. Which cereal do you want to have, and which cracker? And he's very aware of it now, and that's what you want. Eventually, they leave the nest. And they're off on their own shopping, and you want them to have the tools they need to shop successfully.
Good. And what are some of the signs that you're seeing in your son now that he's taking more care of himself?
When he came home on break last year, I remember coming down into the kitchen, and he was making his protein smoothie after his workout. And I saw him scooping in hemp seeds. And I said, oh my goodness, this is the moment. It's all coming together. He got it. He threw in hemp seeds to up the nutritional benefits of his protein smoothie. And to me, that was just amazing. He was, 16 at the time, and to think outside of this comfort zone of his and to add something extra in there to just get a little bit more of this and that, I thought was great.
Yeah, and I will add that when you follow a natural foods diet, you actually have more energy and better cognitive or thinking ability.
You sleep better.
Oh, yeah.
Your skin, your hair, everything. It's all encompassing.
Yeah, excellent. Let's see. Let's try to look at the suggestion. Oh, you mentioned your children don't eat dairy-free. Is there any particular reason why they also...
Well, in my home, I only cook gluten and dairy-free. But what I'm saying is when they're out at a birthday party, if they're serving pizza, they'll have a piece of pizza because they're not allergic. But it's not something I would do in the home. So I don't really control what they do outside the home, but I control what goes on in the kitchen.
Well, and to compliment you, I think you're giving your children information so they can make choices for themselves.
Right.
So you're not going to be around all the time.
Right.
Now you're teaching a class at Infinity Foundation. What is the class you're teaching?
It's tomorrow. I can't say the date because this isn't airing, but I am teaching a class on healthy gluten-free baking, and we're going to go over a holiday menu with all the holidays coming up. I wanted to boost someone's feast with a little bit more nutrient benefits.
Okay, and so is this a cooking class?
It is a cooking class. They don't really have a full kitchen, so we're going to be going about halfway through recipes, and I'll have some finished product there for them to see before, middle, and after. Okay,
and so what are some of the recipes?
So what we're going to be making is a vegan raw pumpkin cheesecake that's also gluten
just
and dairy
stop there.
free.
It's like, okay.
The crust is going to be made out of my Peruvian sweet potato baking mix.
Now, is this a whole recipe something you came up with?
Yes, it is. But
and so are all the recipes like here's something you came up with? Well,
these are all my ideas, and I have an assistant who's a wonderful baker, and we'll sit down and we'll plan out the month. Every Monday we release a new recipe featuring one of the mixes on our Facebook and our Twitter. It's called Madhouse Monday.
Okay.
Starting out the week is a little crazy. So, and we always kind of coordinate the recipes of the month with holidays that are going on.
Where do you get the grains and the other ingredients in your baking mixes?
Oh, I get them directly from the mills.
And from the mills. And do you?
I buy in bulk.
Yeah, and do you like visit the farms where they're grown?
I haven't.
Yeah.
They're not very close.
Yeah, I've actually. Did you ever hear of Lumberg Farms?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, when in the 1940s, after the war, there was a lot of chemical factories and chemicals left over. And they said, "Well, what can we do with it?" They said, "Well, we'll put it in the ground. We'll use it to grow And so the Lumberg farms stayed natural. They stayed true to the original farming techniques. And
they're the rice company, right?
they're rice, but they have a whole bunch of other products and chips and rice cakes. I actually saw rice cakes being made. It was pretty amazing. So let me encourage you to go visit the farm. Yeah, millets kind of grows in a cool area. Actually, I think we can grow millet around here.
Yeah, millets are pretty dry. It can be in a pretty dry area.
Yeah, yeah. So once you get the product from the mill, then do you assemble it here in Chicago area?
Yeah, we're located out of Highland Park, and we do small batch mixing, but we're actually getting ready to move our production to a big facility that will be gluten-free certified, allergen-free certified, and kosher certified.
And I assume that you have health standards to meet. You got health inspectors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a co-packer, so they're all set up with the standards to meet.
And so, is your husband helping you in the business?
No.
Well, and so I think it's important for our audience, you're
He's my taster. He's my taste tester.
If you can get it by him, you can get it by anybody.
Right.
But you have 5 kids at home, and so it's great that you're running a business.
Yeah, no recipe gets released unless it's past the 5 kids, most of the 5 kids, and the husband.
They all get a vote, huh?
They all get a vote.
Yeah.
And they don't all agree, though.
Good. So we just have a little under 2 minutes left. So tell us a little bit more about your class so the audience can get an idea what's possible with your baking mixes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make, like I said, this pumpkin cheesecake, which will be great for Thanksgiving. And what's great about the cheesecake is that it's made from a base of cashews. So it's completely soy-free, dairy-free, and gluten-free. And it's so full of amazing fats and antioxidants, anti-inflammatory.
So are you using fresh pumpkin or pumpkin?
We'll be using canned organic pumpkin.
Okay.
Yeah, not fresh pumpkin.
Okay.
Another thing we'll be making are, actually I'll be showing them how to make the Coco Loco cookies. Because those are great. You can keep the dough in the freezer and then slice them whenever you want. And that's just a great cookie to eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I mean, it's so full of health benefits that it doesn't matter when you eat it. It's a great on-the-go snack. And then the third thing we'll be making are rosemary millet croutons. And from the croutons, we use those in our soups, and then we use it in stuffing.
I'm sorry, Jill, I got to stop you. I'm just, delicious. For more information about Jill, Motew, the Zima's, Madhouse, Foods, Infinity Foundation, InterQuest talk show, stay tuned to the credits at the end. Until next time, wish you good health, good spirits, and good fortune. Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you.
For more information about this show, our guests, Infinity Foundation, or any of our other programs, please visit our website, infinityfoundation.org, or call us at 847-831-8828.